Donald Trump is launching war on Fox News. He's out for a little blood, it seems, and one specific employee. Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess? You know, there's a few options, if you would. But the particular person he's taking aim at right now is somebody who said something about him just a short time ago, first on Yahoo Finance, and then when he sat down with Neil Cavuto on Neil's show, that would be none other than board member Paul Ryan. Take it away, Drew.
It's going to be a very, very close race. I think they're terrible choices that we're being presented with. And that's just the fate of, that's what the primary voters selected. And I regret the fact that that's where we are.
All right. Now, I know a lot of these folks who also shared your same concerns about Donald Trump have sort of said, all right, we're rallying around Donald Trump. You had said, though, that would not be the case with you. You had said that he's a populist and an authoritarian narcissist, that character is too important to me, and it's a job that requires the kind of character he just doesn't have. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I agree with that. I don't support Biden either. I think his policies are terrible. I hate the fact that I feel like I got to write in a Republican like I did the last time in 2020. I voted for him in 2016, hoping that there was going to be a different kind of person in office. And I do think character is a really important issue. If you put yourself above the Constitution, as he has done.
But what happened?
I think that makes you unfit for office.
Was it the whole January 6th thing?
That's a part of it. I think it's a contribution of factors, but I think it really is just character at the end of the day. And the fact that if you're willing to put yourself above the Constitution, an oath you swear when you take office, in federal office, whether it's president or a member of Congress, you swear an oath to the Constitution. And if you're willing to suborn it to yourself, I think that makes you unfit for office.
Does it make you worry?
All right, Paul Ryan. Listen, buddy, it's interesting to me how he just made the point, if you would, that there's a lot of different reasons, right? It's not just J6. There's like a lot of different reasons why he doesn't like. Let me just say this. Like, he's never liked Trump, right? Like, he's never, ever liked Trump. I mean, he was Mitt Romney's guy, right? He's a different kind of Republican, if you would. So he was never, it doesn't matter like what happened, he was going to find a way not to support him. I think that's to be understood. Anyway, Donald Trump is like out for blood right now. He didn't appreciate these comments. And of course, the guy made them also on Yahoo Finance. So he put out a little Truth Social truth, if you would. By the way, you can follow me on Truth Social as well. I'm over there. He wrote, "Nobody can ever trust Fox News, and I am one of them, with the weak and ineffective rhino, Paul Ryan, on its board of directors. He's a total lightweight, a failed and pathetic Speaker of the House, and a very disloyal person. Romney was bad, but Paul Ryan makes him look worse. As a team, they never had a chance. Rupert and Lachlan, get that dog off your board. You don't need him. All you need is Trump to make America great again." Okay, well, you know what? It's kind of a slow news cycle, I suspect. And because it's such a slow news cycle, he's interjecting himself a little bit in there with a big dig. I mean, like, why today, right? Like, why today with Paul Ryan versus, say, last week? I mean, he did tweet a few things out during the Yahoo Finance thing, but for some reason he decided to go in hook, line, and sinker today. And it's getting a lot of attention, definitely a lot of attention. Look, it's a complicated relationship between Trump and Fox. I can tell you that. I used to work there. And I think because of that complicated scenario, it's never going to be really peaceful. They both have a lot of power. I mean, don't kid yourself. Fox News still has a ton of power. I realize there was that brief moment in time when Newsmax was killing them in the ratings. But, you know, Newsmax, while they're certainly making major strides, they haven't really been able to take on the big kahuna, which is Fox News. And Fox News works very, very hard behind the scenes to kind of stamp out any potential competitors coming along the way, like a Newsmax. And they also see, in my opinion, Donald Trump as a bit of a competitor as well. Because in the old days, you know what? Rupert had a lot of control over whoever was going to be the Republican nominee or Republican president of the United States of America. A lot of control. Because he owned Fox News and the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal. All right? It's kind of, you know, uno, dos, tres right there. So because of that, ladies and gentlemen, he likes to be able to kind of maneuver and get his way when he wants his way. But you know what? He's not going to get his way with Trump. No, I mean, like, Donald Trump is I mean, certainly, he's nice to Rupert and everything. But when Rupert crosses him, he's not afraid to fire back. I mean, there was that little moment, remember, with Brett Maher, and they sat down and had a interview. I mean, Brett must have been psyched because Donald Trump hadn't really done many interviews with Brett. But they sat down and he let him have it on the ratings front. Let's take a look.
The best polls I've ever had. People see this stuff for what it is. It's a political witch hunt. It's a continuation.
More independent voters watch Fox News than any other TV source.
A lot less than used to watch it.
They do watch. Those voters usually make up.
It was like, boo, 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 boo. Brett said that because he wants to point out, you know what? We got independents over here. We're not just all right-wing crazies. We got independents. That was like a marketing tool, right? More independents watch Fox News than any other news source. That's like what they put out in their sales brochure. And Donald Trump didn't let him do it. Didn't let him do it. He's like, yep, they may be used to, but that's not happening anymore. Look, a lot of things have happened. Like I said, I think Fox and management at Fox feels slightly competitive with Donald Trump. They're afraid of Donald Trump because he does yield a ton of power. And because of that power, it makes it a little dicier, a little scarier. They can't actually predict anything and everything that's coming down the pipeline from him. So given the volatility factor, given the unpredictability, they would rather have somebody that they know is going to do what they say. Ron DeSantis, great example. Nikki Haley, great example. I mean, these are people that will fall in line. Rupert, what do you want? Lachlan, what do you want? Okay, done. And Trump's like, well, is it good for me? Is it good for America? No, if it's not happening. That's very hard, I suspect, for the powers that be at Fox News to kind of manage, right? They're trying to manage Trump and they can't manage him. Nobody can manage him. So he's the wild card and they don't really like him. They don't. So I would say that Paul Ryan has just kind of secured his future, if you would. I mean, it's funny because there's this, darts coming in from all directions. The Murdochs are business people, right? It's just business. Whoops. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm throwing my pens around. But it's just business. And Trump is not necessarily, I mean, at times he's really good for business, right? At times he really, really helps ratings and they love that. But keep in mind, they also get maybe a lower dollar amount for some of the programs that they have in their advertising because there's this, I mean, you see it with Twitter, right? Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, won't advertise on Twitter because it's viewed now as conservative. So anything that's seen as conservative is tainted with this very broad stroke brush. Right? That's what cancel culture is. And so you have all these campaigns in the advertising industry saying, don't advertise on Fox, don't advertise on Fox. So they're like, and my advice to them would be, hey, look, guys, it's going to happen no matter who's there, right? It could be Ron DeSantis, it could be Nikki Haley. It doesn't matter. The left is doing what the left will do, and they're going to continue to do it because they hate all conservatives and they have to win at all costs. We already saw it when Nikki Haley started to emerge as a real contender, which was for 5 minutes, or Ron DeSantis, maybe for 10 minutes, emerged as a contender. Boom, they swooped in. They went after him hard on MSNBC, on CNN, and of course, on The View. Full-on attack. And so Fox, you know what? You're just going to have to get used to the reality that there is a cancel culture involved. You don't stand up, incidentally, I can say this, right? I can say this, we're all friends here, for your people. And so cancel culture gets oxygen, if you would, right? And starts to take off. And so you look at all the people that used to be there that very happily are not there anymore, me being one of them. My colleague Lou Dobbs, Steve Hilton, who was there. I think about, didn't Kennedy used to have a show there? I guess she's still at the network someplace. Who else? Let's think. You guys probably know this, but Tucker, right? Tucker is a great example. But again, I think anybody and everybody who can do this on their own will, who the heck needs it, right? Who needs the politics of it? Who needs the insanity of it? Who needs Chuck Schumer telling you, you're done. And then the Murdochs following suit, right? Remember this one? After Tucker had been reporting on J6 and the left didn't like it. Here he is, Chuck Schumer, on the floor of the Senate.
Millions of Americans tuned in to one of the most shameful hours we have ever seen on cable television. Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection. I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night.
And then he went on to say, basically, Murdochs, you ought to fire the guy. And what did they do? They fired the guy, right? Wow. Wow. So it's possible they saw Tucker as getting too powerful. It's possible they listened to Chuck Schumer. It's possible they were, just running scared. But I guess my point would be, it's not going to make or break the place whether Paul Ryan is there or not. I suspect this really did just guarantee Paul Ryan a career for life on the board at Fox News. Because now the Murdochs are like, whoa, we can't be taking direction from Trump. Right now we're in this sort of standoff. So Paul Ryan has just been made bigger as a result of all of this. But the war has started. And now they're going to have to draw a truce. It'll be interesting to see how that goes down. I can tell you now, I know how they work, and I've been there. I guarantee you they're going around right now telling every anchor, not putting it in writing, but going to their office and saying, hey, no interviewing Trump right now. We're going to ice him. We're going to 86 him for just a little bit, right? Just a little bit until he gets the message. Well, again, in this standoff, they both have a lot of power, but I suspect Donald Trump wins that game. Thereby, more power to Newsmax and more power to independent creators. Hello. I mean, you know what's great? We can be here. We can have a show like this. You can talk to me. I can talk to you. It's kind of like a 3D world here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like. Make sure you hit the bell. The bell's really important because then you know when I'm live here every day.